welcome to one of the most wide-open seasons in British Touring Car Championship history.
The field is stacked with potential winners.
Going to be some fireworks.
This is where I belong, and I'm really proud to be part of it.
The new order gets ready to do battle.
Take one deep breath and get ready. Lights out, away they go. Great start by Prius. Will give Collard the race lead. Round one is won by Rob Collard.
Not bad.
This promises to be another tremendous race.
We want to win, and that's what we're going to try and do.
Lights out, they blast away. Jason Plato leads. Here comes Shadow. This is it for second place. Oh, there's contact. Trio goes through. The inside comes the Honda to retake second place. The leader is off. Jason Plato is in the gravel. Gordon Shedden wins. Only just.
He's learning the pushing and shoving bit quite quickly.
It's going to be a hell of a battle.
Here we go for the race lead. Matt Neal does it. Now Jack Goff makes his move. Puncture for Jordan.
One more chance for Jack Goff.
Matt Neal wins with Jack Goff behind him.
Good effort, dude.
It's going to be a fascinating Donington weekend, that's for sure. Welcome to Btcc Extra from Donington Park at the end of rounds 4, 5 and 6 of the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. What a weekend we've had. Time to look back at some of the stories of the weekend with one of the leading lights from the paddock. He's busy, so Paul O'Neill is here instead. 3 top races.
Mate, have you ever seen anything like that? That was unbelievable. That race 3 was one of the best things I've ever seen. There was just packs of cars fighting. I wouldn't have liked to have been Mark Cross who was sorting out all the directing. He must have been having like a right old rattle across all the buttons. It was brilliant to see. Loads of people.
And every shot we had from the pit lane, nervous faces in every garage. There were hopes and dreams being boosted and being crushed on the same lap.
There was. I can't remember how many leaders they had in that last race in particular, but Josh Cook, I mean, I thought he's defo going to win this, and then all of a sudden the VW Passat or the CC was so fast from Aaron Smith, and he made that little mistake, didn't he, of cutting across too early, and he took them both out of the top 3 really. But there was loads of different names right up the front. It was brilliant.
But that moment of Aaron Smith and Josh Cook, they got away with it, but for one fleeting moment I thought we were going to have cars scattered around the countryside. That could have been potentially a big accident.
These cars are big and heavy. When you're going down from 6th gear down to 4th to get through the old hairpin at 100 mile an hour apex, so that would have been a 100 mile an hour impact into one of those cars. It was as if there was supposed to be a gap there for Aaron Smith to fire himself through, but Aaron's going to go home tonight and really wonder why he did that, because that was an easy win, clean sweep for BMR that would have been.
2 wins, one for Colin Turkington, which was important because it proves he can win in a front-wheel drive car, and one for Jason Plato that we always knew was just around the corner. I mean, it's been a really good weekend for Team BMR. The super team put together in the winter, and now it's really coming good.
Yes, and I think it's brilliant because sometimes when people put a lot of money into things like that, because that team wasn't really a big front runner, was it, last year? And it doesn't, just because money's there doesn't mean it's going to happen, but let's be honest, it is happening, and one is because of Jason Plato bringing all that technology and all them engineers with him, but 2, it's because Warren Scott really believes in what he's doing and he's gone forward with it. But Aaron Smith, he's still there, and he's still there.
Warren Scott's the man behind the team. He's put all the effort into it over the course of the winter. But it's not just about him in the Scott household, and Paul caught up with Warren's wife Vicky to find out how life is behind the scenes at Team BMR.
Vicky Scott, wife of Warren Scott, he's got big plans and ideas, but he's not had a great weekend up to now, has he?
He hasn't, no. That's just Warren's luck today, unfortunately. He managed to get up to 11th, which was a great result for Warren, but obviously back then he just had a little excursion again off track.
And what is it like to be the wife of Warren, knowing he's running 2 champions and another brilliant driver, Aaron Smith? He must have a massive passion for Btcc. He's spending probably a lot of money.
Yeah, his passion is just phenomenal. He absolutely loves it. At heart, he's still a driver. If he's in his car, he's having a great time. It's just nice that obviously his teammates are top chaps, aren't they?
And how much does it mean to have I'd say a proper win today, with Jason winning from his, off the grid, not reverse grid anything. Is that a big thing? Because the 2 reverse grid wins that Aaron brought to the team, it's a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just nice to know, obviously we had a really great winter test plan, and we learned so much with the cars. It's just nice that that's all being put into practice. I think the drivers are happy. Obviously we've got lots of improvements to come with the cars, lots of things still to test, but we know that there's pace in the car. We know the cars handle as well as they can today, and just look forward to more improvements really.
And just tell us, is there any kind of conflict or anything with Jason and Colin? Everybody wants to know, do they get on behind closed doors? Do their wives speak?
everyone's best of friends at BMR and always will be.
So you always look after the families, and hopefully, which one's going to win? Come on.
I'm not sure. It'd be lovely to have 4 winners, wouldn't it? But it's going to be really, really close. The families are all great here. We're a family team at heart. We like the drivers to bring their families, their kids. We'll have a great, great time. But in terms of the winner, we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Do you think it'll be one of the BMR cars? Do you really, really think that could happen?
I think the cars are great. I think we've got the pace. We've got great lads in the team. Obviously, really good engineers. I mean, Carl, Kevin, Paul and Craig are just working so well behind the scenes. I mean, the hours these guys are putting in, and the mechanics as well. The team is just brilliant, fantastic.
Yeah. Well, there is a bit of gravel on the road there. Yeah, and that's Warren's car as well. I don't know if there's any more gravel left on the circuit. I hope no one else goes off.
I'd said actually in the week I'm doing a bit of gardening, and I never do gardening, but I am at the moment, and I needed some gravel for my pot. So yeah, he's done well.
I think that's probably why he went off then. He's got all the gravel out, but brilliant.
It's free, isn't it?
I don't know if Donington Park will like that. But anyway, good luck for the rest of the year, and thanks to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Paul. Thanks.
One driver who has certainly been a talking point this weekend, Aaron Smith. The weekend ended with a great battle for the race lead in race 3. It started, though, with him having to withdraw from the qualifying session and, in fact, missing the first race. To find out just how tough a weekend it's been, we talked to one of his mechanics on the car, Kevin Doody. Kevin, they say a mechanic's life is never easy. You and the guys on Aaron Smith's car have been through the mill a bit this weekend.
Unfortunately, we have came here with great expectations, and that all went to pieces when our gearbox and clutch failed. Unfortunately, had to work into the night to get it repaired, and then we went out and had a brake failure. Tough life, not much we can do about it, but we've come back strong, and in the last race we could prove that we could win again.
Talk me through that first race where Aaron got to the end of the pit lane and then you discover this problem. Does your heart sink because you think, oh no, all that hard work has gone to nothing? Or does something else kick in because you've got to start working so rapidly?
Well, of course, you're fed up. You think, oh, what's gone wrong now? But something else kicks in, and you basically say to yourself, let's get down there, get it back, get it repaired, and let's get out there and see what we can do.
After that, he did you proud, didn't he?
He did very well. He's a fine racer, and he puts the car through its paces, and thankfully we can keep it together for him.
Now, you're not full-time on this team, are you?
No, I'm not full-time. Do it for the fun of it. And I don't know whether it's fun or not at the moment. Not the way I'm feeling at the minute. I think it's the end of the weekend and just about ready to collapse, really.
So go on, what happens during the week, before the weekend? What's the day job?
My day job is a building contractor.
And then at weekend, you morph into this mechanic and all things are thrown at you?
Well, I don't know about a morph. I think somebody keeps calling me an old age pensioner at it, but I don't know who he is. But no, I've been doing motor racing for about the last 25 years. And been doing it at weekends, do a lot of work for FF Course at Silverstone, and then I had the opportunity to work with Warren, and Warren said, well, if you want a job you can stay here as long as you want to. I expect I should just be here in my invalid carriage really, but there we are. That's life, isn't it?
What's the motivation? Because you don't get to see the cars on the track, you're either in the garage or on the pit wall, and you're always busy.
Yeah, the motivation is that you do something that you enjoy and you contribute to something that's worthwhile, and you can see the success of it as you can with Aaron, and that's really what motivates you. You keep going and going and going, because at the end of the day you hope to win the championship. We all hope for that, and this year we've got a good opportunity.
And when Aaron's first win of the year comes, it'll be one big party, won't it?
Well, let's hope so, but I won't drink too much.
This weekend particularly, we've seen the combination of the soft tyre and the weight and the difference that makes. And Paul, it's added up to some great racing.
It has, hasn't it? It really has put, a massive variable in there. The weight is 75 kilos if you're championship leader or won the race, and then the soft tyre thrown in there as well. It's getting worn out, especially places like Donington. And if it's not above the ambient temperature of 15 degrees, the track, you're going to have a real struggle. So people are really, really struggling with it.
Put your racing driver's hat back on, if you can remember that far back. It must be frustrating. You put all the effort in to make your car go quickly, and then the regulations, of course, hold you back. Yeah, it's like a complete joker. One of your rounds is a joker. You've kind of got to give it away, but it can work out for you. I mean, I was speaking to Mike Ewan from WSR, and they look at the weather all the way through the week to see when to use that soft tyre,
because if it's cold, it's going to grain and it's not going to work. So they just look at the temperature and what it's going to be. Is there any rain? You know, is it going to be cold? So the bigger teams, the strategically thinking ones, are the ones that are going to benefit from this. So I don't think it's a bad thing. All it will do is create a big void, maybe between the teams that can't really invest in that. You know, looking at other variables like that.
There are people that say the Btcc is just bash and crash, and you don't have to be skillful, you just have to push your way through. But it couldn't be further from that. I mean, the teams are constantly striving to get on top of a car that moves underneath them, in as much as the regulations add weight, change the tyre, boost has in the past been adjusted. And it's so hard to engineer that car because the playing field changes all the time.
It is, and I think that's what makes it fantastic for all. You know, you don't get 40,000 people come through a gate that, you know, want to see, they're going to see a boring race. They come here, they know it's going to be fantastic. It's got millions of viewers on ITV4. It is fantastic, and I don't think it's a bad thing to have all these different things changing around. And you only have to look down the pit lane now as the cars are all being put away. There ain't much damage on them. There's people doing mega passes with slower cars in front and faster cars behind. It's good.
I mean, that's one of the keys to the race 1 result and your fastest lap going into race 2, but you've got to finish, and therefore you haven't got the heroics and the desperate moves, because everybody knows they've got to get through to the end. And so, like at Brands Hatch, we've had 3 really good races. Let's have a look back at the best bits of the weekend at Donington.
Hold back the river, let me look in your eyes. Hold back the river so high. Stop for a minute and be by your side. Hold back the river, hold back. Holy water, won't you let us wander? Let us hold each other.
Power Max Racing is a team that's a familiar name, having been in the championship for over a season now, but this year everything is radically different, and at Donington this weekend the team has certainly grabbed the headlines, and the man behind the squad is Adam Weaver. What a fantastic weekend for Power Max Racing.
Yes, yeah, definitely so. I mean, I said earlier, if that was offered to us to take that at the end of the season, we'd have been quite happy with that at the end of the season. But to have that in our second round ever, and Josh's second round ever as a British touring car driver, it's just absolutely fantastic. It's just a shame we couldn't round it off with a step on the podium, but I'm very sure now that it'll come soon.
And it wasn't just a fluke qualifying session, because you had both cars in the top 10, and that proves just how far the team has come on.
Very much so. I mean, the team have been absolutely fantastic. Martin's done a tremendous job getting the people together to get these cars right. You know, consistently all weekend we were in and around the top 10, qualifying and in each of every race. So, you know, I think good things are to come.
Power Max Racing as a name is familiar, the colours are familiar, but it really is a totally different entity from last year, isn't it?
Very much so, yeah. We did the deal very early on this year to actually buy the team from Chris, quickly realised the benefits of running a 2-car team, and did the deal that we did with United Autosports to get the bits really to build a second car. And yeah, it's very different. I mean, there's a lot of full-time staff. There's you know, it's a totally different team. The cars were built from scratch, different shells. Couldn't be more different, really.
But built from scratch in a pretty short space of time. I mean, this all came together pretty late in the day.
Yeah, tremendously so. I mean, admittedly, with the arrival of the Toyota from United Autosports, it was a giant box of bits wrapped in a Toyota. So we had the benefits of all the bits being there at the same time. But the guys still did a sterling job and managed to build a British touring car in 3 weeks, basically.
And Josh's drive in that third race, I know he didn't ultimately get on the podium, but the defence of the lead for as long as it lasted was just stunning.
Yeah, it was just brilliant. It was very clean. You know, just the track position, holding the position, forcing Aaron into the positions that he had to go into to be wider in every corner. It was absolutely fantastic. I've been involved in touring cars and the sponsorship of it for sort of 4 or 5 years now, and it's one of the best touring car races I've ever watched. It's fantastic.
And that's only the second meeting of the year, so you've set your bar pretty high for the rest of the season.
Yes, yeah, I think we have, yeah. You know, but we can move forward from here. The drivers are raving about the car. There's minor tweaks and setups, and with a bit of testing, you know, I really think we can stay at the front end of the grid for hopefully a long period of time.
A mega race 3 of the weekend, and one car that really was in the mix right the way through was this, the Pertec Racing MG6 of Andrew Jordan. Okay, There was contact with Matt Neal, but even so, it was a far better end to the weekend after a pretty unpromising start. We caught up with Andrew. Well, the weekend got better.
Well, the season just got better, I think. Really made some progress forward. Had 2 fourths and a second, so first podium of the year, which is always nice to get. But more importantly, we made progress with the car and got it a bit more to my liking.
What was going on in qualifying? I mean, not 1, but 2 spins from Andrew Jordan. Did you forget how to drive? What was going on?
Just got a bit dizzy, mate, to be honest. No, it had a lot of oversteer in the car yesterday. But we kind of found that problem for today and really made some progress forward. So, the Brands was obviously a very poor weekend. We came here and it didn't start great yesterday, but I just said to the guys, look, if we can roll out in free practice with the car as we've got it today, then we're in a much better position to make progress forward through the weekend. So feeling really positive about it.
Race 3, there you are, ahead of Matt, suddenly, whack.
Yeah, that's Matt Neal, isn't it? Yeah, it is interesting. There wasn't really a gap there. It was just a bit of a whack. And, it wasn't a hard whack, but it was enough to move me out the way. And there wasn't even half a gap there. If it was, if there was half to 3/4 and Matt Neal did what he does very well normally and nibbled his way up the inside, I'd go fair enough. He caught me out a couple of laps before and passed me fair and square, but he should know that I'm going to cover it the next time when I'd got past him. So I'm sure the stewards will swap the positions, at least I hope they will, but who knows.
So season starts here, really. I mean, you're still in the mix, even though Browns was a disappointment. You're not out of the game, and now you can see the potentials there. Yeah,
I always kind of said coming here we need to restart the season after Brands Hatch. It's a long year. We can see there's going to be lots of different winners. It's not necessarily, we want to win races obviously, but it's all about being consistent this year. I think with the amount it's fluctuating with the weight and then the soft tyre, how that's reacting differently in different circuits more than we thought it was going to. It's going to be a cracking year, and I think if we can just keep banking points like we have this weekend, we'll be in a strong position.
So the championship has been really shuffled thanks to this weekend at Donington Park. Paul, who's your driver of the day?
No doubt, Josh Cook. He has been absolutely epic, and I think for someone to come in from Clio's, be at the front on his own merit, qualified 6th at Donington, and then to have that reverse grid race, he'd have definitely been on the podium if it wasn't for contact with Aaron. But Dave Newsham, his teammate, must be scratching his head and thinking, who is this rocket ship of a ginger man that's right in me? He's right there, and it's brilliant to see.
And he looked so calm when he was in the lead of that final race. I mean, no matter what people threw at him, drivers that have been in this championship almost man and boy, like Rob Collard, they just couldn't get past him.
Not at all. Didn't he defend brilliantly in the right places?
And cleanly.
Cleanly, got good traction to make sure he wasn't having to defend at the next corner. It was brilliant to see. And Btcc is safe. The future is safe. If these guys stick around, we're in for a great few years for sure.
Thruxton next. We don't have to worry about the soft tyre because of the nature of Thruxton as a circuit. So it's going to be different again there, isn't it?
It is. They've got a controlled tyre for that round, so everyone will be on the same tyre. I think you're going to see Andrew Jordan definitely start, but what you're going to see is them Civic Type R's up the road.
So Thruxton is the scene for the 3rd weekend in the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship, qualifying as ever on ITV.com on Saturday, May the 9th. Full day of action on May the 10th. We'll see you there.